What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. It's time once again for another episode of the Forgotten Race Review. We're homebrewing today at the request of Mr. Afro Samurai. One more time. Let's break out our monster codex for some lore and stat out the Bugbear as a PC race. Remember, hey, if you guys are liking what you're seeing, hit that like and subscribe button today. This episode of the Forgotten Race Review was brought to you in part by Tiki Sri the Artificer. Thanks for your help, my friend. Thanks for playing Path of War, Drow, Noble, Gestalt shenanigans. Now let's hit it. So in medieval England, the Bugbear was depicted as a creepy bear-like thing that lurked in the woods to scare children. In more modern contexts, it might also mean a pet peeve. Basically, think something along the lines of the boogeyman. Somebody to jump out and scare your kids to keep them in line and stuff. In D&D, a bugbear is a massive humanoid related to the goblins that's been with us ever since the 1975 Greyhawk supplement, appearing in every subsequent edition of the game. But we're not worried about D&D. In Pathfinder, the bugbear is the largest of the goblinoid races, standing at least a head taller than most humans. These guys are loners that prefer to live and kill on their own rather than form tribes of their own kind, but really killing for these guys is as instinctual as eating, reproducing, sleeping, the things that all other humanoids do. It's not uncommon to find small bands of bugbears working together. Sometimes you'll find them dwelling with goblins or hobgoblins, where they function as kind of like elite guards or executioners, but they don't really form warrens like goblins or whole nations like hobgoblins. Oh, by the way, follow this card right up here if you want to learn more about Paizo's goblins, and right over here are the militant samurai goblins, of course, the hobgoblins. These guys prefer smaller scale mayhem on a personal level, especially when it lets them devour human flesh, because of course, that's a dietary staple for them. Now, so far as their stats go, a typical bugbear stands around 7 feet in height, weighing 400 pounds, but that doesn't tell us a whole lot. So I'm gonna benchmark these guys off the orc and say that a bugbear comes of age around 12 years old. Males range in height anywhere from 6 feet to 7 feet tall, with females coming in just a couple inches shorter, 5'10 to 6'10, weighing anywhere from, we'll say 350 to 450 pounds for men, 320 to 420 for women, the maximum age being 40 plus 1d20 years. And of course, remember, a bugbear does not appear as a playable thing, so we've got to homebrew this one from the ground up. If you think you could do it better, throw it in the comments. As far as I'm concerned, a bugbear has a lot of really good stats, so its racial adjustment for its stats probably looks a lot like the Strix. A little smaller, but pretty good. A +2 to its strength, but a -2 to its charisma. Bugbears are medium humanoids with the goblinoid subtype, with a base speed of 30 feet. They've also got dark vision out to 60 feet, as well as scent, and an ability called Stalker that says perception and stealth are always class skills for the bugbear. In addition, a bugbear receives a +4 racial bonus on intimidate and stealth checks, and that's what we have. It's not super fancy, it's not super crazy, but it's reading from the bestiary entry and building it here as a PC race. Now, playing something that's universally evil, though of course it's intelligent, there are exceptions, has its own roleplay intricacies for sure. Considering human flesh to be a staple part of your diet, or in a broader sense, humanoid flesh, means that in polite society you won't necessarily play well. I've never played a bugbear, of course, but I have played an orc in Rise of the Rune Lords, and kind of it fits along the same path. Pathfinder's orcs can eat anything and survive, up to and including other orcs. I was playing an orc hunter who had been Tarzan raised by a warcat of Rull, so of course, when the time comes to go hunt down a Lamia and she's dead, we're not gonna waste the meat. It's simply wasteful. That's one way to play a race that would eat sentient creatures and maybe not necessarily, again, survive in polite society, but fit in the party. Now, GMing for one of these guys is a little on the different side. On Galarian, of course, it doesn't work for the same reasons that I said. You can't just eat people and people will be fine with that, but an association with things like gnolls, an association with orcs. Haven't talked about orcs yet, weirdly enough, but we have talked about gnolls. Follow this card right up here for a super old video. I suppose it's more of the same. Introduce your Bugbear character to these races that are already eating sentience and you'll fit in. It's a campaign from an entirely different perspective, Lamash 2 or otherwise, but that's all we have to say about the Bugbear. What do you guys think? Have you played this race in perhaps like Dungeons & Dragons somewhere? Would you play it? And how do we feel about these kind of tropes in our games? As always, throw it down in the comments. We'll keep that conversation going. But for now, that's all we've got. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hey, remember to hit that like and subscribe button for more sweet Pathfinder content. The next episode of the Forgotten Race Review, where we cover the Damphir, drops next Monday.